our warrior to welcome the guests as well as the participants. Over to you, Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you very much. A very, very good morning to the most respected participants and to the most respected invited guests and the speaker for the day. Augmenting and in fact, welcoming you all to this great session, a webinar on the evolvement of technology at our offices, at small and medium offices and practitioners. Today officially is the start of the lockdown in Kerala. More so from the turnover from restrictions kind of lockdown into a pure lockdown from today to 24th, and also given to understand that in Tamil Nadu as well to be implemented from the 10th or so. Now is the importance of topics and sessions like this, where there's a lot of work that is per se pending for chartered accountants with regard to the May ending filing of taxes and the GST that is coming up. And hence is the more importance, like I already said, that we adapt to these kind of technologies, these kind of work modes to implement our work or to execute our work in a better fashioned manner for the good interest of our clients. Also, having said that, like I mentioned yesterday, Ernakulam branch with the leadership of Babu Kalivel sir, Central Council member, we've already submitted a presentation to the Chief Secretary to grant the services of chartered accountant under the allowable and permitted services. But also having said that, may I also urge and appeal to each one of you members out there to kindly stay at home, stay safe, so that you don't put your health or the health of your family members at stake at this particular point of time. Also, like how Roy sir earlier said, time that we also involved in a lot of physical exercises. There's a lot of breathing and meditation and things like that to keep yourselves healthy, to keep your mind as well healthy. Ernakulam branch, along with the Ahmedabad branch of WIRC and other 50+ branches have joined together for a program called Movement 73, for which I shall be sending you a reminder mail as well, which involves a 7-day workout. Not just in terms of physical workout, there's a lot of breathing exercises, there's a lot of yoga involved. So I also request to all of y'all to be part of all these kinds of activities as well, apart from the regular technical and academic activities that is conducted by the Ernakulam branch. I am in fact deeply thankful to these two gentlemen here today. Sudhir Mohan ji, very, very close friend of mine. And I should be ashamed again to be saying that at a very short notice that this gentleman was so kind enough to be accepting to my request of to share his point of view. He is the director of Wipro Technologies and also a co-founder of their startup division of Wipro Ventures. He is also an automation and an expert in automation, and he's got over 2 decades his experience in transforming technologies for several industries. Global experience, I should be stressing upon. And I'm really thankful to you, Sudhir ji. Very, very warm welcome to this session today.
Thank you.
We have our very own, if I can say, Anand Jangid ji, who's to be frank, known as the technology man of our fraternity. He's also got a session happening at the All India level tomorrow from the conducted by the Delhi office HO, and he was also very kind enough. And we are in fact lucky to be having his dates matched with our session today. Very, very warm welcome to you, Anand.
Thank you.
I have my esteemed and eminent colleagues in the managing committee. Secretary Deepa Verghese, immediate past chairman Roy Verghese sir, vice chairman of the branch KV Jose, past chairman and member Srinivasan sir, Alan Joseph, Salim is also here, and we have 75+ registrations today, and it is still ticking. So hoping that all of us would have a great session, great day of learning. We'll have more and more of technology sessions, especially considering the circumstance and situation that we are running in through. So a great day of learning to each one of you. Jai Hind, Jai ICAI.
We have always been hearing from chartered accountants who are technocrats, but very rarely we get to hear from the horse himself, if I may call him so. A problem solver, innovator, escalation resolution, digital transformation, and hyper automation specialist, co-owner startup investment at Wipro Ventures, Mr. Sudhir Mohan, comes with 19 years of global experience in software services industry. He has enabled digital transformation across industries and channels. His expertise lies in product engineering, intellectual property development, and customer solutions in engineering. He has experience in Asia, Africa, Australia, Europe, and North America. He's also been, He's also manages mobile apps engineering practice of 28 million US dollars in annual revenue. Sir, we are very eagerly waiting to hear from you.
Thank you. So, thanks for the opportunity. We are living in a very unusual times, and as Ranjit said, maybe we should take care of our physical well-being and mental well-being before.
Sudhirji, I'm so sorry, it is not clear, unfortunately.
Oh, really? Is it better now?
Yes.
Maybe my microphone keeps moving, I guess. So I said, we are living in a very unusual time, and as Ranjit rightly pointed out, it's more important to stress on our physical and mental well-being. Mental well-being is very important to get through these challenging times unhurt. So thanks for the opportunity. And you would be very surprised that I'm very happy that Ranjit called me for this opportunity. And I'm wearing a shirt after 18 days. So very unusual times, right? So t-shirt is an accepted practice in my office. So I wear only t-shirts during the day. And after 18 days, I'm wearing a shirt. I have not stepped out of this house like last 8 days or so. Not even crossed the front door of my apartment. So whereas I used to travel like crazy, Ranjit knows, I used to travel like crazy 1 year back, hardly in town. So every one of us have gone through these kind of unplanned exercises and unplanned changes. Our life has turned 180 degrees. Somebody sent me a song yesterday. I mean, he told me like life is what happens to us when we are making plans elsewhere. I think it's a John Lennon song or so. So these things we have never planned, right? So I wish all of us get through this together unhurt as much as possible, and get back to what we aspire as normal. So wish you all the best in that regard. So coming back to technology, there are, at least last 14 months, I'm working from home. And there is not a single thing that we could not do because we are working from home. So that actually, and the productivity is not hurt. Google Meet, the unified communications technology that enables these kind of conversations together, that has matured. And I'm using Microsoft Teams for my work. I use WebEx and Google Meet and Zoom, of course, for various meetings. But unified communications, especially enterprise-grade unified communications, with no offense to anybody, I like Teams, and that allows you to do all that you want to do as a team. So you can chat, you can have a conversation like this, you can make calls to each other, you can share content, you can present, you can take feedback, you can create breakout rooms. All that is possible, just like we used to do before. Second thing is the mobile phones, which have enabled you to work from wherever you are. So if you are not creating content and presenting content, but you are just a consumer of content, then you just need a mobile phone with an internet connection to work from wherever you are. You can write emails really quick. You can attend these meetings on mobile phone as well. Sharing content, creating content, maybe mobile is not so great, but that is second thing. Third thing is the internet connectivity. And there's an underlying fourth element, which is cloud. The cloud technology has enabled all this to work seamlessly. So say, for example, I work in mobile apps industry, right? So we have mobile phones apps to test. So to test a mobile application, you need phones. And then when this pandemic came, we have realized that putting all phones on cloud, we have cloud providers who put phones on cloud. And wherever people are, they can access these phones from wherever they are and can test. I have people who are accessing phones in Nigeria from India. I have people who are accessing phones in US from India. I have people who are accessing phones wherever they are deployed from wherever they are. So cloud is the game changer in this. And this is not just for us, right? You think about it. I'm very sure you would have ordered food online for the first time after March 2020. Most of you, I don't know. Maybe some of you were early adopters of Zomato and Swiggy, but then a lot of people started ordering food delivery at home. Education, all of our kids have shifted to online classes. Many of them are using different software. Google Classroom is what I see. So education has shifted. The kind of companies that is making all the money during this pandemic is actually education companies. Be it Byju's, which all of us know. One of my friends is the CEO at Upgrad. They crossed 1,000 crores in revenue, I guess, and they are receiving more funding. And that doesn't stop there, right? A lot of these technology companies are getting funding. Health is going to cloud, and we had controversies also around that. But then it is going to digital. It is going to cloud. Telemedicine is actually a reality right now. People are consulting doctors on phone. I don't know whether you have consulted, but a lot of people are consulting doctors on phone. So people are taking classes on online, including dance classes, right? So it's not just for academics. They're taking art classes, dance classes. Everything has pretty much shifted remote. So except for a very few industries, most of the industries could conveniently shift to online platforms and thereby using online all the more effectively. And one great example is government. Government earlier, for every meeting, the entire clan used to go to Trivandrum or to Delhi. That is gone. None of them go anywhere. I met the district collector for our district collector a month back in a private function before all this became so bad. So he was telling me that no meeting happens in physical presence now. Everything is online, which is great. I mean, if government can adopt, then there is no other industry or organization or sector that cannot adopt. So adoption is very easy, and necessity has killed the mindset, created the mindset also for this. Because I'm very sure on a normal day, you guys will not agree for a WebEx meeting. I'm very sure you will say that, oh no, let's meet up somewhere. We will sit together. We will sit around a table and discuss in a meeting room. But even political parties are doing their meetings online now. So pandemic has actually accelerated the digital transformation, maybe by 3 or 4 years. And it has also made, what is it called? It made real or believable that most of the stuff that we could do can be done online. Well, it comes with a lot of other problems. All is not great. There are outliers. There are problems for some people. There are psychological issues. How do we measure? A lot of things change, but then our livelihood is untouched because of digital transformation and avenues that digital has created for non-technology domains like yours, or for a food seller who has subscribed to Zomato for food delivery. So digital has made livelihoods untouched. Digital has enabled supply chain better. Even now, all this COVID facilities, vaccination, liquor, everything is being online, right? We had great controversies around liquor coming online, but that's how the world has adapted to this pandemic and crisis. And I'm very happy that technology professionals like me and many others have worked on these kind of transformations and made it happen. And there is no going back. Whether the world goes back to normal, but these kind of transformations are here to stay. As we speak, right? For the Kochi guys, you heard that. I mean, I don't know how many of you read the news that IBM has opened up positions in Kochi without an office in Kochi. They have started hiring for people from Kochi. So that is new, absolutely new. If IBM can come to Kochi like that, I really wish Microsoft and Google and Deloitte and everybody else follows to Kochi. And you really don't need an office to do that. Maybe you can later start a pod and things will go. WeWorks and associated kind of shared workspaces will get more prominence. And for you, I am very sure that online has become a norm, and this is just accelerating that journey. If you have specific questions, I will answer, but I hope I told you what, Ranjit, you wanted me to tell. or is there anything that I did not touch upon? Please let me know. So I'm open for questions. So
in case any one of you would like to ask Mr. Sudhir any question, please write to us on the chat box or on the Q&A box.
So Sudhir, I have a question for you. It's an amazing talk what you gave, and I was just wondering, can you throw some light on what you see? Because as you rightly said, it has accelerated a lot, and I can see this happening also. But what do you think in future? Remote working is going to be the way out, or what do you think? Even Google said like recently that 20% of the workforce is going to work from.
I lost you, Anand, in between. Yeah. So
Yes.
I don't think 100% transition will happen anywhere, but maybe 70-30 is a good number. So as most companies say, 30% of workforce will be coming to office on a given day, but 70% of people might go on remote.
Yeah.
This will create two scenarios, right? One is that you don't need the sprawling offices anymore for a lot of these companies. A lot of money savings there in terms of rent and other associated things. Second thing is they can go after talent wherever talent is. At least in our industry, where technology industry, the real investment or real raw material is talent, and talent can be wherever they want to be. Okay, and then that puts a different paradigm. The talent will go to places where they are comfortable to live. See, I would say countries like Dubai will make a big benefit out of it. They will start opening up for remote work visas, and then people can just shift to Dubai and work from there if they want to, because other infrastructure. I'm giving you an example which Keralites can associate with rather than telling, and also countries with lesser visa restrictions, right?
Yeah.
So they are opening up like crazy. So cities with better social infrastructure, cities that are more open for youth, a talent will start drifting there, but they will work wherever they want to. That is one trend that I will see. Second thing is most of the companies will adopt this hybrid policy of having some people at work at any given point of day, and then rest of the people go wherever they want to be. And maybe all these meetings will happen once in a quarter or once in a month, and then you do this. I think that is going to be the way it is. I have one question in QA, so let me check that. So Anand, I hope that I answered your question.
Yes, very much. Great talk, Sudhir.
So somebody had asked a question, but I don't see it now. So where did it come? Deepa, you have raised your hand.
No, I think that could be a mistake, sir.
But I saw a question popping up, but then I don't see it now. Somebody had asked a question. Yeah. How do you think? Okay. Now it is coming.
Yeah. How do you think the productivity of employees affected because of work from home? Not in a professional level, not in a personal level, but in a professional level.
See, all surveys at our work indicates that our productivity levels have not dropped. And if you look at our results, any IT services company's results, we are doing fantastic. All IT companies are doing great in terms of revenue, in terms of business, which essentially says that even our customers have felt that we have not dropped our productivity. So that is working perfectly fine for us. Second question was how can a CA work online? See, I would think, why can't you work online is my question, because most of your documentation is already online, and if you have some cloud services or so to store documents and process it and run it, it's very easy. You need to have internet connection and maybe a unified communications account like this or Zoom or whatever you like to talk to your clients and have conversations, and then I think pretty much can be done online, because anyway all your filings happens online. You don't do any physical filings these days, right? At least most of you. Yeah, so that is doable. Any questions?
But having said about the the professional competence as well, but don't you think on the other side there's a lot of human touch that is missing? There's a lot of interpersonal relationships that is compromised. There's a lot of per se mental health also. It is the entire different atmosphere that when you're sitting in an office with your colleagues or you're sitting in a coffee shop with your friends, that the entire atmosphere is different than to have a Zoom meeting with your friends, than to have a conference like this. Don't you think it also takes a toll on the other side of the coin?
Yeah. So there are two answers to this question. First one is, we are doing this not by choice, but by necessity. So this, what we are doing right now, like forcing ourselves to home, is something that we are doing by choice, not by choice, but by necessity. So once the things ease out, people will definitely have some interaction for sure, some connections, some meetings, some gatherings. But a lot of people prefer to work from home also. They don't want to be coming back to work, is what some of the surveys in some other organizations say. And to the point, before this lockdown happened, Ranjit, I have gone to all 14 districts in Kerala. I've stayed in hotels. I have ate from hotels. I have shared a ride with people. So fear is another thing. Now it is not wise to do so, and I'm completely at home. But otherwise, if you exercise your precautions, you can actually have some amount of social life. I will tell you an example. One of my one of my team members is also from Ernakulam, and we used to regularly meet at Starbucks in Lulu, and we used to work from there at least for 3 or 4 hours together, so that we talk a bit on certain things. If we want to show something to each other, rather than doing it on a team session, we show it to each other and discuss and then plan for like another 2 weeks. So see, we are all human beings. Given a chance, we will all go out and interact with other people. That will never stop. Nobody's asking us to stop that either. But sometimes necessity is forcing us to confine to online for our own safety, and probably we just have to patiently wait to get through this. Somebody asked another question. Let me just read that. Okay. What about junior? Okay. So you know what? Nobody onboards juniors like us. The IT industry is the biggest taker of fresh engineers from colleges, right? So interactions, I don't know whether you really need a physical interaction. Maybe that is just a mindset thing. Meaningful interactions can happen digitally also. So probably you'd have to just align with that. And when you delegate work with others, how can we ensure confidential information? So that is professional ethics, professional responsibility. In our organization, we all sign employment contracts, and we are bound by employment contracts. With third-party customers, we sign non-disclosure agreement. I will not tell you a word about who I work with, what I work with, no matter we talk for 10 hours. So that is something that has to come from within. And that's the only way it can be maintained. You have to trust people, and they have to live up to the trust.
Question. It's in continuation to the previous question. Extension to my question, do you think the managers and supervisors have to take extra effort to manage the workforce remote?
See, it's again, right? It's how you manage. So I trust people basically, and I don't micromanage. I just go after the objectives, and as long as somebody is able to deliver outcomes, I don't really worry about where he is or what he's doing during the day. We broadly agree on outcomes for the week, and then we just track the outcomes. And same is with me, my manager and people above him. We are all looking at the outcome, at the bigger picture, how we are progressing towards our outcomes. Are we putting in our best efforts? Are we making sure that we are making progress towards the results and all that? So it's just that culture that you have to build. It's the trust that we have to have, mutual trust, like each other, and the professional integrity that all of us should bring to the table. That if we are assigned a work, we will work on it rather than doing something else. But that doesn't stop anybody from watching a movie during a day. But as long as he's able to complete the rest of the stuff that he has wanted to complete. So But watching movie every day tells something else. So that's how it is. Any other questions? So I see there are 2 questions on chat. What is it actually?
That's what I had read out to you.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Anything else?
Chairman?
Pretty much it, I guess.
Yeah.
I should also inform you all that Sri Sudhir Mohan is like the right hand or chief advisor to Dr. Shashi Tharoor, who's also the IT Parliamentary Standing Committee chairman. So there's a lot of effort that is being put behind, a lot of experience, a lot of expertise per se. Like how he rightly said, transforming completely into a global physical venues to in front of the system at his bedroom or to wherever our rooms are. That is a huge thing that we never thought would happen. So thank you so much, Sudhirji, for your great time and in fact great words that you shared with us. It was truly beneficial to each one of us.
Thank you, everyone. You guys have a good day, good session, and thank you for the opportunity. And nice meeting you, Anand.
Pleasure all
We'll
mine.
talk some other day. Yeah, sure. Thank you. Take care.
So
Bye.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now,
Back to you, Deepa.
thank you, Chairman. After hearing from the industry, now it's time for us to hear from one of our fraternity, a passionate evangelist for tech-based disruption in audit and finance domain. Anand is a professionally a chartered accountant and a certified information system auditor. He's a managing partner at ICAI, an organization with a focus in the area of forensic audit, IS audit, fraud analytics, and blockchain for internal audit function. Anand was a part of the risk management team at Goldman Sachs, covering multiple audits across geography for different functions in the organization. His area of specialization were forex audit, DP audits, anti-money laundering, Basel II, BCP, and operational risk. Prior to Goldman Sachs, he was with ES Consulting Group at Infosys Technologies Limited, Bangalore. Here, he was involved in the development of regulatory compliance framework for various compliances, Sarbanes-Oxley Act, amongst others, and was a part of the team developing solution for Basel II Accord implementation. His responsibilities included working in sync with the project of Infosys Consulting Dallas. He has been involved in ERP implementation and IT audit for many international projects at, again, USA, UK, Japan, China, you name it. Other professional interests he includes him being a faculty for IIM Bangalore, teaching IS audits and fraud analytics. He's also a speaker in North America, Euro CAS of ISACA, visiting faculty at ISACA, ICAI, and Wellinger Institute of Management. Anand sir, after Sudhir sir, we are now waiting to hear from you because you are a part of Ernakulam branch, if I may say so.
Sure. Okay. So it's a pleasure, everyone, and thanks to Ranjit sir for the opportunity. And Deepa, it was great. Thanks for the introduction. When Ranjit sir was telling that we should have a session, I was just thinking, like I said, I'm already anyway going to speak on the how to start an IS audit. Tomorrow we have a session on that. But the topic which Ranjit sir has chosen is very interesting, and that's why I just thought I will share my some of my thoughts which are there. And great, we had Sridhar also. He has come and he has given a perspective from industry, what's happening in the thing. And friends, I had just thought of that, whether we like it or not, there is a big change which is happening in the way we are right now working on different areas, right? So what we should be thinking of, that in this time to come, what is changing around us? A lot of things are changing around us, and because these things, as we see, is going through a lot more changes than what we have thought. So the topic which we have chosen for today is augmenting technology for SMPs. And it's very focused. Our approach today, maybe I will have 1.5 hours to take you through that, and I would like to have as much as possible interactive session. So you will also see that it's not going to be a death by PowerPoint. I have PowerPoint and I'll be actually jumping between multiple things. I have something to show you also, some of the tools, things and all that. And also the idea is I did my articleship from a small and medium firm, and I know the challenges what it comes to. And though I have worked in a lot of industry for a long time, presently when I actually have to see, that's a kind of thing. I have, though I was in industry for a long time, I have a lot of respect for people in practice, because when I came into practice, I understand you are an entrepreneur and you have to worry about everything. Like working for companies like Infosys, you don't worry about things. You take things for granted, and then you come here and the issues which you will be facing, as like I am telling you, I have faced. I don't know about you guys, that the cleaning lady has not come, so the it's not clean, the office is not clean, and those kind of thing also you have to handle it. You have to handle the client issues also. Everything is on your head. Now, when you are in that kind of challenges, it's actually required that we have come a long way today, and I think there is a right time today, just to introspect, to see what are the things which is there. And when I'm actually making this presentation also, I realize one very important thing, friends, which I want to share with you. There's no one size fit all. Every CA firm, every SMP is different. Everyone has a different way of looking at that. And the whole idea is we need to understand the challenges which are there and trying to come back out. So that would be what I would like to cover in next one hour 10 minutes. And then I would like to take questions from you. Feel free, friends. And there is no question which is like not worth answering. Even as smallest of your doubts which are there, I would request you to put it on the Q&A thing, so that we can actually today. Okay. So let's start with the discussion. Okay. So the agenda of what I have thought of for our today's discussion is on why technology. Now you heard Sudhir, and Sudhir was amazing because he's bringing you a fact which is at 30,000 feet and he's bringing it to ground zero also. And as he explained very rightly, whether we like it or not, the world is changing. The place where I did my articleship, when the last time lockdown happened, my principal called me up and said, Anand, what should we do in technology? You give so much of sessions and all things. So I actually sat with him and we discussed a couple of things, and they have changed. And this time, you won't believe, they are a CA firm based out of Bangalore. Before the lockdown happened, before there was an official lockdown, they themselves actually send a mailer to everyone saying that we are actually in light of COVID, we don't want to work from office, and here are this things. You can actually raise all your requests. There are something called as, they have set up a system called, I was very impressed, a service ticket. If you want any service, the client want any service, they have to raise a ticket, and based on that, they will allocate it to their articles and all the things. They have it's a firm with around 4 partners and I would say around 18 assistant, article assistant, and lead assistant. So not a very big firm, but if they have put a process like that, it's possible we can actually all do it. So that is something, one of my inspiration, which I thought I'll share with you. So we'll start with why technology, because today, would you like to go? And I'm not sure how many of you are, senior members from the profession who have done bank audit when it was manual bank audit. You remember the time when there used to be a manual bank audit? I know bank audit season just got over, and we used to have, I would say something around this heavy books where our ledgers used to be there, and it would be audited and all that kind of stuff. You don't see them actually anywhere, right? Now, if those guys have changed, our client has changed, don't you think we have to change with them? Now, technology is important because it is nowadays, it's not a luxury. It is taken for granted. It's a necessity. And actually, even if you do a cost benefit analysis, in the long run, this actually helps us a lot in terms of whatever we are doing. Point number 1. Point number 2, which is my agenda for today, is I would like to talk about office automation at our organization level, because charity begin at home. We have to start from what are the changes we can do in an organization, which is our organization first, before we can even tell the client that, hey, you can do this kind of thing. Yeah, those are also a kind of a good area where we can actually help clients, saying that if you automate this part, if you do that, it will save time for me. I can do these things faster. So it's actually nothing wrong in partnering with them and taking it forward. There are some new services you can actually focus on that, because that is also very important for SMP, because augmenting is not just about your process improvement. It is also about, is there a kind of a new revenue source? And that is something which is very, very interesting. Yeah. And for all these things, we have to, in the last, I'll be talking about how to have a tech-enabled mindset. When I say tech-enabled mindset, friends, it's very important that we should have an experimental mindset. Okay. Don't think in technology. Even, large companies, I have worked with all this Infosys, Goldman Sachs and all things. If you think that they know answers, no, they don't know answers, but they're ready to research it up. We call that as a design thinking approach, which is basically means you define what is the problem statement and how it can be solved. Like, for example, I have a lot of tools which I'll be sharing with you and showing it to you, what we are doing, what other people I have seen them doing. But it doesn't mean that is the only thing. You can take that as a reference and then try to see, okay, what more can we do it out there? What are the other things which we can actually see and take that forward? Okay. So that is what I would like you guys to be having it out there. Now, one of the things which I always show in all my presentations, so I will be very upfront with you. This is like, for last 1 year, I have been promoting these two things like anything. And I would highly recommend you. Many of you would have heard me saying about that. And the first one is the Future of Job Report 2020. Please download it. It's freely available. Go through it. It will give you a lot more ideas. Even if you don't understand ABCD of technology, no problem. Just see that. Just go through it. You will understand what I'm trying to say. This report actually mentioned what are the areas where we are going for a redundancy. What are the areas which are impacting? And this will also explain you what are the things which we need to look into. So this is one of my favorite report, and it's actually a very nicely developed report. In fact, I have read this twice, and every time I read it, I get more insight, more understanding on what's happening, and it gives you a lot more ideas what you can do, friends. So I would really share this with you because it is going to give you a lot more, I would say, insight into it. You can just download it on the web. Future of Job Report 2020. It is from World Economic Forum. A very nice insight on what's happening. Now, second thing, I always really like to talk about, friends, is this book called The Future of Profession. This is by Richard Susskind and Daniel Susskind. And why this book is very interesting, because these two people who you are seeing it here are the people who predicted that email is going to become de facto mode of communication after 2005. This is what they said, that de facto. These people wrote a book something around the 90s, and they said email is going to become a de facto way of doing it. And their prediction is today true. The number of emails we are actually sending every day. Have you noticed? All communications are happening. Business communications are happening on email. Now, when they wrote this book, something around 2016, they wrote the book. I got a chance to read it in 2018. Okay, I will be honest with you. And when I read the book, I get a lot of insight. They were talking about three professions: lawyer, accountants, and doctors. And they said these three things. All three of us are human experts. Okay. Now, I'm very thankful Ranjit got Sudhir here, because ours is a kind of a knowledge industry. Don't you think we are into a knowledge industry? We do a lot of services. I'll have some discussion on that. But we are a knowledge industry or knowledge worker. Right? IT industry is also a knowledge worker. Now, what they have seen is the kind of transformation which is happening, and they have adapted. Now, it's high time for us also to see that, okay, this is something which is happening, and this is going to change the way we are looking at it. Now, this book will give you a lot more insight. It's not about just to scare you. This book is there. First part scares you, but the second part tells you what you can do, how you can actually change the mindset. I remember just 3 days back, someone from Chennai, our institute, okay, I'll not name that gentleman. He is actually into administration, and he wrote an email to me. Okay, he said, dear sir, you are sending your, I saw your video of one of your recording where you are talking about that in future chartered accountants will have a lot of problems and all things. So my daughter is in class 10. What should I do? Whether she should go engineering and all things. I said, no, please ask her to see only. But what she should change is the mindset in terms of how we are doing it. Now that book gives you a lot more insight. I'll not go into too much into that because you can easily, get some of these references online and go for it. But these two things are important because it will give you a kind of a starting point. And right now it is a very good time to start things, right? We have to work that. So let's start with the first part, which is like the what we call it as office automation, what it can do initially at our side. But whenever we are doing it, how do we initiate things? This is the question I always hear from everything. How to initiate the journey? So is it like that? I will tell you some 20 tools and you just implement it and then it's okay. No, guys, it is not. It is a uh, short approach of what I call it as going to be a big, failure. I'll tell you why it is going to be a big failure. Because I told you in the beginning of this, there is no one size fit all. There are CA firms who are into GST extensively. There are CA firms which are doing a lot more M&A kind of thing. There are CA firms who are onto audit. There are CA firms who are actually doing a lot more different things. So there are a lot of interesting approach which is there. So what I'm sharing with you right now is a case study actually for one of the firm which has actually done it and how they did it, and I'm sharing with you on that line so that it makes it easier how we can do that. Now, the first and foremost thing of doing this journey is to set up an IT strategy. Now, what is an IT strategy? Let me tell you what is an IT strategy. See, when you do something, you do it with a plan. So I'll give you an example. When I was at Infosys, we had one client. I don't know if you are aware of this, but it's a very interesting case. Titan is a Tata Group company, right? You are aware of that. So Titan was a company at that point of time, and Mr. Harish Bhatt, if you know, he's right now in the Tata Sons board. Mr. Harish Bhatt was the CEO of Titan. So Mr. Harish Bhatt knew that. Okay, let me ask you a question here. How many of you here right now in the group don't wear a watch? I don't wear a watch. You can see I don't have a watch. I use my phone as a watch. So how many of you don't wear a watch here? Just put a Y here. Yes, that would be enough. I can see the chat. Okay, no. So everyone wear a watch here. Okay, I am a kind of a minority here right now. Okay. Okay, great. So if you're wearing a watch, okay, then it is a good thing. But how many watches do you have? I remember my dad and my mom still had their watch which they got during their marriage. They never, basically that is one time in your marriage you used to get a new watch, and that is how people used to basically take that home. So Harish Bhatt realized that it's not going to work for him. So they got McKinsey to come out with a strategy on their business, but what they can do. So the business strategy was developed by McKinsey. McKinsey said, you need to diversify. You need to actually go into different areas. So today Titan is selling gold, Tanishq. Titan is selling helmets, okay? Titan is selling glasses. They have diversified a lot into different kind of area. Now, when this business plan was ready, business strategy was ready, and strategy, all of us know how it is as, they actually got a RFP done for an IT strategy. And Infosys, TCS, everyone bid for that. And it was expected, some people thought that they will go with TCS because it's a Tata Group company, TCS, Titan and all things. But Mr. Harish Bhatt was a very objective person. He liked the proposal of Infosys and it came to us. And I was part of the team which basically developed that. So when you're making an IT strategy, the first thing is that you should know what is your business all about, what you're doing, what are the kind of things you want to go, which are the area you want to grow in. And based on that, you need to think, okay, I require to do this much investment. Like, for example, I'll give you the example of the firm where we implemented this one. They made a target that we are going into audits, assurance, and compliance functions only, nothing else. We are only going to do these three things. And they said our budget is per month. Listen to that. On the softwares and other things, we are ready to spend 10,000 rupees. That's all. So per year, 1,20,000 rupees, not more than that. Now, based on that, you have to make your IT strategy. So IT strategy will be at a very high level, saying that what we should do. Like say, for example, you want to work, or I'm just not sure. nowadays, a lot of CA firms are going for outsourcing. So if you want to go for, let's say, sites like, freelancer.com and all elance.com and all that kind of site, then your IT strategy will be different because you need to enable your team with a lot more different kind of things compared to going for a regular company. So you need to develop an IT strategy. And based on that, friends, we have to have a plan. A 1-year plan saying these things. It should not be an ad hoc manner that, someone, Anand, I met Anand said this, let me do that. Someone I met, he said this, let me do that. No, you can do some experimentation, no problem at all. But my suggestion is, please have an overall plan that, okay, this 1 year, I am ready to spend this much money and this areas of my business operations, because you are thinking like a CEO of your company. You are a CEO of your company because as a SMP, we have a lot more things to handle than anything else. So that becomes our first step when we call about developing the plan. Now, this looks like, okay, it's nothing to do with technology. Guys, I'll be coming to the part where we talk about which tools to do that. But identifying the areas, this is the most important thing. The areas of automation for SMP firms is very important. When I'm talking about automation, we start with, can we do automation of client operation so that we get the client's data? Like, for example, I don't know how many of you here are aware of that in Tally, there are some, we call, have you heard about a term called TDL? Anyone has heard about Tally definition language? Are you aware of that? I'm giving Tally. If you have clients on SAP, I'll talk about SAP also. But let me ask you just, you have heard about Tally definition language, right? Now, if you have heard about Tally definition language, how many of you know that there are tools which can actually automate all these things, like from bank entry, bank statement to bank entries, or something like GST, validations and all that kind of things. So there are a lot of TDLs which are there. And all these TDLs are small program which you can attach in Tally. And what is the most interesting thing, guys? It costs you something around 1,000 rupees, 1,500 rupees, 2,000 bucks, that kind of things which is there. And you can choose upon that. You can just do a Google right now TDL. There are a lot of companies selling this TDL, which is nothing but an add-on to Tally. So this is basically the first part. Can I, that if I'm actually a lot of areas where I'm actually supporting the client, can I do some automation for them, which can help me in trying to get the data digital and use it more effectively? I hope you have seen these cases, like some news was there that they able to finish the whole audit of a company in 15 minutes. Okay, but no one has read the detail about all of the thing. Everyone sees this, sensation and all thing. What you need to understand, that gives you all the exceptions. What exceptions you could have actually seen it in an audit. So that is what is a different part altogether. We need to start from the basics. Second one, I am telling you guys, automated regulatory compliances. This is very important. I am I'm more on the IT side, but I'm very impressed by, I don't know if you have heard Mr. Venu Gopal Gela. This gentleman is on GST. He's an expert in GST and he is a good friend of mine. And Venu, if you see, he uses robotic process automation for GST matching. I don't know what was that GST matching. That reconciliation is a big problem. I forgot, for large companies and all things. Earlier it was done by articles. It used to take a lot more time. He said, I can use my articles to do other things instead of actually doing stuff which can be automated and fast. And now he is using a robotic process automation for all this kind of stuff. And what is the most interesting thing? It's an open source tool he is using. So he never even paid a lot of money on doing that. So this regulatory compliances which are there, which can be performed digitally, we need to make a list of that. It'll take us some time. It is not going to be a spoon feeding that ready-made stuff is there. You have to work on that. You have some time right now. In Kerala, we have this lockdown starting, right? I think it started already. So it's a time to introspect, I would say, and see for ourselves what are the kind of things which we can actually work on. Third, the area of automation when you are talking about, see, we are compelled to use IT in our own offices, which is relevant to the services of assurance, compliance, and consult, especially assurance. When I say assurance, see, if you are doing assurance, a lot of things are common anyway. Now, can we develop? I'm just coming in. You don't have to go for very high end stuff, but can we develop some macros also in Excel, saying that from Tally you extract the data? I hope you are aware of one software which is available, which is an add-on for uh, Excel. It's called ECAT. It's from a Bangalore-based firm. Mr. A. Rafiq is they are selling it, and it's actually a very cheap software, and it can do around 100% of. There are like videos on that how you can just take data directly from Tally, and just in Excel you can just directly connect to Tally and do all the kind of things. And it's very easy, guys. I'm again telling you, yeah, you have to invest in some tools and a little bit of training, but that is what we have to do. And the fourth area, which is, as we are doing right now, communication and information. Now, communication and information, as we are talking about, this is like using WebEx, Zoom. This is for communication and all thing. Or I don't know how many of you are aware of that Microsoft Teams is freely available right now for 100-member team. So if you have 100-member team and you have an email, you have basically a kind of a website, you can actually get team free of cost. And that is what Sudhir was talking about. Teams is something we use in our office, and it's actually, these tools are very easily for SMPs. It's actually going to be very interesting because you can do video call. Someone was asking that question, which was very interesting: how to control our article clerks. See, guys, if we actually have a kind of treat them with as adult, they will actually act as adult. So the point is that you have a kind of thing, you can always know who's working, what is there. And we have other tools also which we'll be discussing about how do you manage your workforce and all the things can take it. So this is the second part, which we call it identifying the areas of automation, because that is very important. A lot of people just goes for it. And I hope, just correct me if I'm wrong, but when I was actually making this presentations, guys, I was just thinking the typical area of services which we are doing is process outsourcing, where we are doing bookkeeping services and other kind of things. We are doing some regulatory compliances for our clients, regularly filing something. It can be MCA, GST, and all the things. Audit and assurance functions, which is very simple: tax audit, this audit, that audit, all that kind of stuff. And also consulting and advisory, where we are advising them on different kind of things. And litigation and assessment. So these are the 5 key areas which any typical SMP would be having. So we have to think of how we can actually take that forward. Now, what are the steps to be taken to do that at a macro level? I'm just right now talking not at ground level. I'm talking at you have to have, before you start doing it, you need to have a big picture, what you are trying to achieve. What are the key things we are trying to do here? How we would like to, take that forward. All that things is something which we need to understand and take that forward. Okay, I hope you got my point here. So what is the first step we should be taking? The first step is I need to have an environment or an infrastructure for delivering the service which has to be done. Now, when we say developing the IT infrastructure, friends, what I'm trying to say is, if I am actually having I'm just sorry to say, I just saw it sometime back. There was a CA firm who are still using a very old, laptops, which even Excel slows down. If you're still using those kind of infrastructure, it's not going to work it out. We have to have adoption of the latest technology. There is a kind of I don't know, now it is I think 40%, but earlier it used to be all computer equipments and other things was 60% depreciation. The reason is very simple, because the life of computing devices and all the thing, what we are talking about is only maximum. I have in our office, most of our people, like we are into a lot of data analytics and machine learning and all that kind of stuff. But on an average, everyone has laptop will be changed in maximum 15 months. The life of a laptop in our office is 15 months. More than that, we don't keep it. But ours is a little high-end technology work, because we are into data analytics, machine learning. We do quantum computing part. We have started now something on that. So all that things are different area. But on average, you should not have equipments which are more than 3 years old. If you're having a 3 years old equipment, I would say dispose it off. Even if it is working fine, dispose it off. It's not required. It's the cost of laptops today, what is the cost of laptops? You're getting it for 25K, 30K, that's all. There was a time when all these things was very expensive, but now it's very cheap. And you have like option, I don't know, I am seeing one very interesting thing I'm just sharing with you. How many of you heard about BYOD, guys? Bring your own device. So I have a friend of mine, and in their firm, this is a small and medium firm, they have very interesting thing. So they buy some equipment, and for others, they actually tell their articles. This is really good. Huh? They tell the articles that, okay, the firm will buy you a new laptop, okay? But we'll be deducting, let's say, 1,500 rupees or 1,000 rupees per month from your stipend because this laptop belongs to you. It is your laptop. It's not company's laptop. We are just paying upfront money for you. Now, this is like a kind of a concept where you don't have to worry about anything, and this asset is being used for your work only. And you are also, just you have to put the upfront payment, and then the guy can actually use it up. So this is what we call as the BYOD. You can actually do it. So we need to have proper IT skill and competencies. And when I say IT skills and competencies, I'm not asking you to hire one person just for doing. Just knowing the basic stuffs and how the things has been done. Sometimes we can actually also take help for networking and other things, right? You should have the right applications which are required. I'll be discussing a lot of applications which are there, friends. And those are kind of thing important. You require the technology infrastructure. If you are still having only a wired network of 1 Mbps connectivity and all the things, gone are the days. You can't do a lot of things out there. Need to upgrade it. It's something which is a need of the hour. How we do the delivery of IT services, we have to do that. And most important, this is the most important thing. Okay, I realize it in our organization. We are a very small organization, not a very big one. We are just around 35 people. And we wanted to have something I'll just share with you. We wanted to have time, we wanted to have project timing to be, captured. Now, what happened is we used a tool called Clockify. I don't know if you have heard about that. It's a very interesting tool. I'll just maybe share with you. This is how it looks like. Okay. This is Clockify. Okay. It's a free time tracker for the teams. Now, once we set up, we bought, we first went for the free version and then we bought the paid version. But free version was good enough. We paid paid version only for some other purpose which was there. Now, this tool, you can actually use it for the whole team. And it has all the features of who's doing what, how much time he has spent. So I know that out of my 35 people who are doing what kind of things, I have dashboard and all that kind of stuff. And based on that, I have the timesheet. So when I'm actually billing a client on a project X, I know how much hours my people have worked on it. Now, it is very nice to look like, okay, that we have to do this. But friends, I'll tell you what was the biggest challenge. Okay, I'll tell you honestly what was the biggest challenge. The biggest challenge was people were not ready to fill the timesheet on time. Now, that means they think, okay, if I don't do it, what is going to happen? What is the max going to happen? So you have to build up that culture. You have to say, no, timesheet every week, you have to fill up your timesheet. It's a actually mandatory thing. So initially it was not there. Then we stopped some of people's salary. Then they realized, no, this is a serious thing. So they started putting it on time. And it's important because when you want to know what's happening in your organization, see guys, one of my mentor told me one very interesting thing, that if you are an SMP, your target should be one very simple target. You know what should be the target? The target is that every 2 years, what is your top line should become your bottom line, right? So that is the kind of every 2-year cycle you should make sure that your top line become your bottom line, and that is how you can get a growth. If you are stagnant, you're not doing good, then maybe it's not the right place for you to be. We have to grow, and if you have to grow, you will see these challenges like cultures and training, delivery of IT services. We need to think of that. We have to broaden our horizon in terms of how we deal with that. Okay. Now, I told you about strategic plan. I would request you, if you want to do that, you should try it maybe today, tomorrow. And if you have any problem, I'll be sharing my contact details also. Feel free to reach out to me. The first part is you allocate one time that we are going to do a planning session. If you want some of your key members, you want to have them together, no problem, bring them together. So sit on that, make a kind of a meeting kind of thing. You can do it right now, an online meeting kind of thing. and list all your existing client and services. I don't know, I'm sure all of you have your service template which says these are the services we give. So you have, okay, this is the services we are giving, and it is also possible you may have some extra services you would like to give it. So based on a SWOT analysis or your key finding, you can prioritize what are the things you want to do with it. Let's say, for example, you want to have a storage approach, which is all the files should be there per client wise, which can be accessed by anyone, and we can have that. So you need to have a vision for that future, how you would like to do that. And based on that, we need to implement the plan. So this is a very important thing which you do. One of the tool that a lot of people are not using, and I found it amazing, which is like, I'm not a person who always try to say this is good or bad, but I found this one amazing, is I don't know how many of you know, there is a kind of document by our institute called DCNM version 2 model. Have anyone gone through it? Anyone has seen that? SMPs, you should take it, because you'll be shocked to know one of the European accounting body has taken it from our institute, and they have asked that can we use it, because it's an intellectual property of our institute. So they have taken the permission from institute, and they are using it. So it's something which we have created. I was part of this, and this is a very good document, because it tells you a kind of your digital capability maturity model. So where we are, before we start doing on your which areas you do, everything is there on this document. You can just go to the institute website and download it up. It's like you can fill it up. You can start with the first self-assessment. So your section A will tell you what is your level of automation, which is already there. So it'll ask, have you done this? Have you done this? You check your scores out there, how much scores you are getting it out there. So in section A, it is all about where are you right now, what you are doing. Okay. Section B talks about, do you have talent resources for dealing with that? Are your people aware of all these concepts and all things? And then you go to section C, which is section C is more of an implementation of that. Which area, division, your discipline specific audit, what are the things you can do? If you say no, Pat, you should try to convert them into yes. If you are able to convert into yes, your already score goes high. And I would say, if you have a good score on this one, they have actually given the scoring methodology and everything. It is like a very good self-assessment for you to understand that. I would highly recommend you to do that way. And if you are like only a tax and compliance guys, you can ignore C1 and C3. Because C1 is all about audit, C2 is what you're doing in tax and compliance, and we are very specific there. We are asking you whether you have done this, whether you are having a website, whether you are using a CAD tool. Be honest and say yes and no. And we have to only see that which are the no's which we want to convert into yes. Okay. So this is one of the very starting point which can help us in terms of dealing with. Okay. And to start with, let's try to now go. Okay, so there is a question, is there a fillable form? Yes, Pramod sir, there is a fillable form. It's actually not just PDF text which is there. There is a fillable form is there, which is like you fill up the marks and the marks come, Pramod sir. I can actually maybe share the link also later. Because we only contributed to that. We have even the PPT format of that on all that kind of stuff as well. Okay, sure. It's a good one. I would highly recommend you to please do it. Or even if the PDF is there, take a printout of that, put yes, no, and you can just score it. How many yes are there? How many no? It's a very simple one to tell you about how to do it. Yeah, I'll take care of it. Sure. So now coming to the core technology applications. Now I have this slide took me some time to understand, and I want your feedback. Okay. I have put around, I think 14 points out here where I just think core technology application which should be there in an SMP. This is like best case scenario. Huh? Don't think this as a basic thing. It's like a best case scenario. Maybe you will go step by step. So I would request you to please participate in that. If you think that no, doesn't make sense or makes sense, or we should have something more, please feel free to me. Because I would say every SMP expert, every SMP person is an entrepreneur who knows a lot about things. And I also learn from you a lot of time. So I would be more than happy to do that. So first thing which I request you to do is a practice management software. It's very required, friends. I told you all these things I'm talking about right now is charity begins at home. Whatever to do for the client and how to make money out of that, I'll discuss it later. This is basic capabilities. Okay. So a practice management software, which covers everything. How many clients is this? It will have a client master, your employee masters. It will have everything. What is the status of the work which is being done? I remember there is a company in Kanpur. I think they have some relationship with our some CCM also, but that company has a very good practice management system. And what is the most interesting thing? They're giving it for like something around $3,000, $2,000 per month. It's like nothing. You have all the things. You don't have to have anything on your company. It's on a cloud server. And the whole idea is you have an amazing set to know what is happening. Okay. So that's something which is there. Okay. Oh, great. Rajendra sir has also put it up the link which is there. So Pramod sir, this is in the DLH, which is Digital Learning Hub. You have the digital working model of CMMI. You can actually take it up from there. Okay. Amazing, sir. Thank you for sharing it. I would have given the link there. Second, very important, I would request you is a time recording software. I showed you the example of Clockify, right? I hope you all noticed that one. Clockify is an amazing tool. Okay, I would tell you, because see, I'm not telling that your people are not working and all things, but in future, I want to know what is happening. It will give you all these things, which project, how much time is there, who's working hard, all this kind of dashboard. And this tool is free, and it will be running on those every person computer, and they can just log on, fill up this information, and you have, as a boss of the company, you have all this information of who's doing what kind of thing. So that is what is a very good tool, and I would request you to use it. Don't go for the paid version right now. Start with the free one, and if you like it, maybe you can go for the paid one. I don't think you require the paid one, to be honest. It's actually good enough to have the one which is there actually given. So that is the time recording software which is there. I'm just giving Clockify. There are thousands of time recording software. Okay, I liked it personally, so that's why I'm just sharing with you. This is, I don't know, a lot of people may say that this is too much, but I think it. Okay, most of the challenges of SMPs is bad working capital management. We advise everyone, but any friend of mine, when I asked him what is the situation, he said they've last year bill has been cleared now. So I actually know it is very tough to ask for that. So I have seen some very interesting thing by some people who are doing it, like they are using QuickBooks and Tally, but they have automated that, which means basically what happened is the due amount, they will keep on having a mail sent to them. And if someone asks you why this mail is being sent, he said this is a kind of automated system. But at least this gives a kind of a very good practice. It's a yes. Rajendra sir, it can integrate with your payroll also. That is true, Rajendra sir. It can be integrated with the payroll also. For payroll, there are other softwares also are there. And I know for sure Clockify and Tally integration is there, which what they do is they take the Tally data and put it into the Clockify data and put it in Tally before they make the the kind of monthly cycle, payroll cycle, which is one. Bookkeeping software, which we all know. I don't want to talk about that. This is a very interesting thing. I don't know how many are using this. A diary or personal organization where multiple people have access to a single diary. Now, I will tell you one very interesting tool. How many of you use Microsoft To Do? Have you tried this? I use it extensively, and okay, I'll just share with you. It's a very interesting tool. What it does, I have shared it with all my team members. So I'm just sharing my screen just to show you. Okay, where is that one? Here it is. So it's basically my day is planned. What are the things? Which are the things which are overdue? And who's doing what? So these are the people I have shared it on. So whatever I put it there, it goes, the task goes to them. So I have, and this is a free tool. Okay, guys, what you're seeing it right now is a free tool. There are a lot of things like To Do is there. There is something called as I'm not sure if you have heard about multiple tools kind of thing which is there. a lot of to-do lists are there. This is something which can be easily used, and I would request you to do it because Microsoft To Do is free and it actually integrates with all our team members and all things. And that's the kind of thing which help us there. Then you require a file management and archival tool. I'll be going into this detail of this one little later. These are the 14 key areas where I have actually talked to a lot of my friends and asked them, and then I have made it up. So what is this file management archive? See, if you want to make a paperless office, you have to scan everything and put it into a storage. Now, earlier cloud storage was very expensive. Today, you can get 100 GB, which I'm using 100 GB of Google G Drive for less than $2 per month. Okay. And I have a OneDrive where I pay for a 1 terabyte storage for the whole office. And I'm just paying for that close to $4 per month. Now, 1 terabyte for $4 per month is nothing, which is like, $4 means 70, 280 rupees. Sorry. What happens is now every client's data is in a different, place. So I know, okay, here is this client data, everything related to that is there. And the most interesting thing is I can give access. I don't have to give access to everyone to everything. I can say this folder have access only the people who are working on that. So one of the fundamental of information security is access should be given on need to know basis. That is something which we can actually work it out. So that is what I would suggest you. My personal favorite is OneDrive and Google Drive, but there are hundreds of tools are there. You can try it, either of them works fine, good, and you require it. It's also like a backup. You don't want data to be in different laptops and all thing and something goes wrong with them. So that is the kind of thing we need to be careful about. Then I personally want every SMP to have a CRM. Okay. What is a CRM, guys? Customer relationship management. Now, when you are a small firm, yes, but every small and medium practitioners want to become big. So slowly you should actually, there is a very interesting saying. Okay, I don't know if you heard about dress what you want to be. Like what you want to be. If you start dressing with that, your mindset will automatically change for that. Now, if you want to become a big, one of the key things which is there is CRM, a customer relationship management, which means every data about the customer, what exercise we are doing, how many bids we have submitted for different items, what we won, what we lost, a kind of complete things. And it is not going to be a one-day work. It will start. You have to bring some discipline in that. You start feeding this data into that, it will do it. I have been using, like when I was in Infosys, we used to have SAP CRM, which is a huge expensive CRM and all that kind of thing. And I am now shocked that I can get the same, not same, but you can say 85% of whatever the features was there in SAP CRM, I get is in Zoho CRM. I don't know how many of you use Zoho products and other things. They are amazing. I would highly recommend you to go for the Zoho products. It's very great products. Zoho is actually an Indian company only, Chennai based. They are pretty good. They are giving good competition to Google and other of the world, and we should also do it. And Zoho, we are using Zoho CRM actually. So it actually gives us, like sending, if you want to send a reminder to all your customers, you go in CRM, one mail, and you can just, it automatically will actually take care of that. I want to see which client is I'm actually doing. Like for example, I met one friend of mine who actually started his practice. So here's a very interesting thing he told me. He said, Anand, I will not want a customer from whom I cannot do a billing of 1 lakh rupees per year. So I want to have a billing of minimum 1 lakh rupees per user that I'm going to target. His point of view. So my point is that stacking it up, he's getting it up there. Okay. Others which we take it Office 365, I'm just telling you, please guys come out of this concept of pirated softwares and all things. It's not worth it. We have to make a kind of things out there, never to use it. Office 365 is damn cheap. I'm sure all of you have used Office 365, which is now called Microsoft 365. You can get a kind of a basic environment of this, used across by paying around 120 rupees per month for per license, which is there, where word processing, spreadsheet, and presentation softwares can be there, right? Then comes a very interesting thing, database. Database is basically MS Access, if you know, is a very good database management system. You can actually build up a lot of databases connections out there. And if you don't want to do it, you can use Google's model, which is like Google Sheets are there, which is a good database capabilities, and you can actually build upon that. Anyway, it's nowadays we all call about internet connectivity, but now everyone working from home, there are two requirements which is always there, right? Which we call it as having at least two internet connections all the time as a backup, because BCP is important. If one connecting go, your Airtel connection goes, you are already in lurch. So we have to be taking care of that. Okay. Now comes one very interesting thing: website and domain email ID. I see a lot of our CA friends using Gmail. Okay. It doesn't give a very good, I would say, view for people to do that. I would request you, if have you explored Yandex. This is Yandex is one service provider who still give you a kind of a mail. Okay, this is what okay, Yandex.com. You can go to the site. It's a Russian Gmail actually. You can think of, and they're pretty good. They have mails and all that kind of stuff, and you can have a website ID. Let's say your SSCO, CNCO, whatever number is there, and a good email service provider out here which can be actually managed. So this is one very interesting thing which I would request you to start using it, and that can be easily configured, and that will give you a good marks on your DCMM also, because you should have a website, you get a higher marking. Domain email ID, you get a higher marking, because these are some of the things you'll notice. Some lot of time there a website will say if your Gmail ID will not register you for the conference or anything like that, you should have a domain ID. So I think slowly you should make this as a habit, that we were trying to be at there where we can actually do it. Okay. One other thing which someone told me very interesting, and I just thought I'll do it, is a fixed asset and a software tracking software system, which is like how many softwares are there with us, which are the software we have paid money for. In fact, it happens many times. We buy so many licenses, we don't forget, okay, which license has been there, whether it's been renewed or not, and all that kind of thing. Okay. There is one very interesting tools which is called accounting and compliance automation tool, which you can build up. So think of something like UiPath. Okay, I'm just sharing my screen, guys, and showing it to you. UiPath is a RPA tool. Now UiPath has something called as Community Edition. You can download this Community Editions in your office. Many of the tasks, like what? I will give you an idea, but no spoon feeding. You have to try it yourself, guys. You can actually go on UiPath, like activity like logging onto GST website, downloading something and all things. You can actually automate it. So if you split up as kind of thing that every month 15th or after this, I don't know what is GST or that where everyone files saves data and then other purchase, the matching, something like that. I'm really bad at GST. Sorry for that. I still don't understand that very well. So all that informations can be actually downloaded, kept into a place where a person, anything which is like a step 1, step 2, step 3, where you go to one website, open it website, grab it up, down, and all the things, you can actually use UiPath. This is the community edition which is there. Community edition is basically freely downloadable, and it's a pretty good stable. It's 2021 4. We are running it for a lot of other things which is there, and it's a pretty interesting tools. UiPath is an RPA tool, robotic process automation. See, if you notice whatever I'm talking about, I'm sorry to say, I'm using either where you have to pay a very less fees or literally no fees. These are the kind of tools I'm trying to share it up, because I want you guys to experiment. Without spending a bomb, we should actually experiment some of the things and then try to take care of it. So friends, these are some of the core technology applications which are there. Okay, I will be going into a little more of that in detail, but here I just thought I will talk about them from a perspective of the core 14 items which should be there. And I'm ready to listen to you. Do you think I have missed out something? I'm more than happy. These are the things which I came to my mind as the core. There are more things which I'm going to cover in next few slides. But the idea is I want you to understand that whenever we are talking about the core technology, these are the core items which has to be there, minimum required. Okay, it's something like the baseline. I would use the word baseline, that this is something which is there, and on top of that you can then have something good to have. Let's see. So this is like your Anna Sambar, the basic stuff. You want a sweet and all that kind of thing, then we have to go to the next one. So these are some of the tools on productivity. So the first one I told you already have been covered here, time tracking. So I have shown you a Clockify. Now there is some very interesting thing I want to share with you. Okay, so tell me one thing. Okay, okay. So are you seeing this presentation right now? Okay, let me show you something very interesting. Okay, now in my presentation, can you see that there is a kind of a dictation which is working out there? Whatever I am saying, it is being written down out here. Now, why I'm trying to show you this is, this one technology have saved a lot of time in my life. You can see my glasses and all thing, and I'm actually in front of the machines for a long time. So it becomes tough for me to jot down, write and all things. So I have started doing dictation. When I have to send an email or anything, I actually dictate the emails. And the most interesting thing which has happened is that speech recognition. Yeah, speech to text. That's what is happening. You can see, sir, right now. I hope you are seeing. Can you see the screen that I am, whatever I'm saying, it is being typed out there? Yes or no? Rajendra, sir. This is speech to text, what I'm showing you, sir. It's there in Windows. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. In Word, everywhere. In Outlook and everything. I don't know if you're using it, but let me just show you what I usually do. This is my, okay, let me see my Outlook. Because, there's, life is short. We are all going to die very soon, right? Yes or no? So this is like, if I have to say, I just start with, dear friends, comma, next line. This is how it's basically. So are you seeing it? I'm actually not doing anything. I'm just typing a mail. Now it's much easier because you can do thing. Please start doing it, guys. I would request you, because I have been doing it for a long time. And where did I learn about this? I'll be very honest with you. Around 2 years back, I actually attended a session by Dr. Devi Shetty. Mr. Devi Shetty, this gentleman who's, okay, let me stop this. It's just keep on going. But if you know Mr. Devi Shetty, he's an amazing, okay, let me close this. So Mr. Devi Shetty is an amazing technologist, I would say. So he was giving a session at NASHCOM, okay? And you will be shocked what he's talking about. He was talking about how we can use technology in every sphere of life. And then Mr. Devi Shetty told one very interesting thing. He said, as a doctor, after every case, we have to, put a lot of files, what happened in that case, that operation, what happened. So he used in Google, there is in your phone, I don't know, I can show it to you or not, but have you noticed that whenever you have a keyboard, like, you get a keyboard, right? Have you noticed that there is a small symbol of on your keyboard, the speak symbol, that speaker symbol is there? He used that and he actually basically dictated it. So he started facing one problem, because there are some medical words which are very heavy words, some neck lotus and all that kind of word which are there, which they think. So they said, okay, when they were typing that, there were a lot of mistakes which will happen. So what did they do? So this was with Devi Shetty. This is called a little bit of growth hacking. What he did was very interestingly, you won't believe. Mr. Devi Shetty said he asked one of his assistant to go to the medical dictionary, and all the words they feed it into his phone as context, and they gave it to the other doctors also. Now, once you feed it into context, the word will be correctly, it comes into the memory of Google, and they will correctly put it out there. Yeah, it's in Google. It's like your Android, right? It's in your, your mobile phone, sir. Android or iOS, if you're using, you can use it. It's a very interesting tool. So this is dictation. I would request you to do that. Then comes, friends, what we call it as our tools, which we use from a perspective of project management. I don't know How many of you have this issue that a project is nothing but anything which has multiple, steps involved, and there are large projects, there are small projects, and there is one kind of tools. I don't know if you're aware of. It's called we use Microsoft Project used to be there, but you can try this thing called Asana. This is an interesting guys from Facebook. This guy's got it. It's a free tool. Basically, what it does is you can actually put any kind of project, small steps, work breakdown structure, or you can use Basecamp. There are many tools like this. So this is a project management and team communication software which can be used very easily, and it will help you in terms of sorry, let me share the screen once again. It will basically help you in terms of having better controls over it. Digital filing, I hope you are aware of all of the things. And I think there should be an efficient email management system. There is one interesting concept in email. I have seen this happening in Yandex mail. Okay, friends, what happens that there is a catch-all mail. Catch-all means, imagine there are 300 or 400 clients of yours. You want to give one email, contact@spsandco.com. That's the idea. Every mail which comes, it will automatically get routed as one task because the client has sent the thing. You've seen these things what happens is, okay, you go to have a request on any of the trade company and all things, they will say, okay, we are going to respond back. It's like a help desk thing. And this help desk, you can actually use it very effectively, and that can be taken care of. Okay. These are all what I call as the productivity tool. Second thing, okay, though our institute says we cannot do marketing, but we have to, when I say marketing, we are not talking about marketing as outbound marketing, but we need to have, I would say, even, you'll be shocked to know that in DCMM, if you don't have Facebook page, you're not having your Twitter account, you're not having your Pinterest or YouTube thing, then you are not doing a good job. There is supposed to be that. And blogs, writing blogs is important. You can actually have tools. There is one very interesting site called, I don't know if you've heard about One Page Marketing Plan. You should go to that website, One Page Marketing Plan. It will tell you what are the things you should be doing it. And also, you should have a kind of a mailing list. Even if you have to send SMS and all that kind of stuff, we start using it. And video marketing is what we call it as for SMP, creating content. As much as possible, create content. If you think there is a thought, right now you can have your camera, record it up, and just take it forward. So this kind of marketing approach should be taken care of. Okay. Then comes, friends, your collaboration tools. When I say collaboration tool, we are talking about, I talked about Teams. Teams is very interesting. I would highly recommend you. I showed you also that one. It can be used for teleconferencing. It can be video conferencing, webinar, web conferences. Multiple people can be there. There are a lot of tools which are there. And my request would be you should have using collaboration tool. The most important one is having a file management software, which I was talking about. Those are the things which can going to help you a lot in terms of dealing with it. Okay. This is what I learned from my firm where I did my articleship. They have set up this one ticketing system that every client who wants a service has to come with a ticketing system. Now, which is the tool they are using? There is a tool called Jira, or you can use one from Zoho also. And Zoho has a lot of tools. I would request you, Zoho, you can try it out. I'm a big fan of Zoho. To be honest, I'll tell you why I'm a big fan of Zoho. Because those guys are really doing something interesting. And I think Mr. Sridhar Vembu, I'm a big fan of that. So they have a lot of these tools which are there, and one of the things which you can use it is this one. Basically where we can actually have, they have the different tools for workplace, for creator, for IT management and all that kind of thing. So one of the things which is, you can actually use it for them is to support your clients. Okay, this is not like help desk kind of thing. So everyone has different kind of tickets coming, who's working on all the thing. So it's like, if you're taking one license or two licenses, it's not going to cost a bomb. And we can actually use it very, very effectively. So this is what I am trying to say, set up an online help desk or ticket system to handle it up and allow that clients to schedule appointment. You know, you can do it online appointment kind of scheduling and take care of that. One of the very interesting thing is in Gmail, if you're using Gmail calendar, okay, there is a kind of thing where the client can see which is the time slot you are free. So they can actually book a meeting with you and you can actually, it's called Meetly. You can just try this Meetly and you know, you can actually do it. And one thing which I think it's very important, one of my mentor told me, is to keep on getting client feedback. Okay, client feedbacks you can get if you put a system of what we call it as sending a CSAT survey, customer satisfaction survey. Please do that. It will make it look good. You know, you the notice the changes what happens when a small firm also tries to do things which big firms does. So it's very important. We have to have all these things done. You know, that is something which can help us act like a big firm, and that also gives client a kind of thing that okay, we are dealing with someone very professional. Okay, it's a professional approach out there. Then moving forward, we have something on using mobile working as much as possible. So laptops and mobile phone, these are the kind of key things which are there. So remote desktops, if there are some things which can be done only from office. So there are tools called remote desktop protocol. I don't know how many of you use in Chrome itself. If you are using Microsoft Chrome, in Chrome itself, they have a remote desktop thing which is there. We use it extensively. So you have to just enable it. So whichever laptop you have Chrome, it can be enabled and it can be accessed from any remote place and all. So those things also have a lot more things which we can actually deal with. There was a question which has come on a platform. Okay, what was that? It is Manoj sir has asked a question. Let me just see this question. Is UiPath better or Power Automate, which is offered by Microsoft, is more than 70% on Microsoft platform? Do not have dependent. See, Manoj, what happens is Power Automate is good, but Power Automate, it is still on the cloud. If you're trying to do something on your desktop environment, it is not so good as of now. It will take some time because they are actually pretty new in this area. Whereas UiPath has much more better, you know, built robots and other things which are on that. Okay, Manoj sir. So I hope that answers your question. So here, these are all the kind of things which can help you do that. One very interesting thing, I don't know how many of you heard about this concept called virtual phone number. This is very interesting. I really liked it because it's basically like you have one phone number and you can pick 7, 8 people. So it will ring for everyone. So whoever picks up first can answer it up. And it basically means your office is 24/7 open. Everyone is actually, you know, looking at that, what's happening, what are the kind of things which is going, and how we can actually take care of that. Then comes, friends, some areas which are, you know, this is the first part I was talking about, internal focus, which is charity becomes at home. But there are new areas which you can actually try to go and focus on the clients, because this can be a new focus area or new area where you can actually invest some time and effort on that right now. And you can actually, you know, use this for a better purpose. So what are the things which is there? I am a big fan of data analytics and visualization tool. So data analytics and visualizations are the future, guys, whether you like it or not. And when I'm doing data analytics, I'm not talking about Excel. I'm talking about more high-end things where you can give clients a dashboard and say that, hey, you know what, if you're doing all those things, I'll make a dashboard for Tally, which will keep on giving you this is information, which you require more better. And every entrepreneur will appreciate that kind of things and doing it. Second area, which we call it, is process mining. Now, process mining is nothing but what happens is, with more and more organizations moving towards a huge amount of data, they want to see patterns. That, let's say, for example, I'll give you a very interesting example. So one of my friends from Chennai did very interesting thing. He went to one of the hospitals and says, I am going to study all your data and I'm going to give you advice on this. And if you find this advice to be good, you can actually tell me. So he compiled a lot of data about where people are going, what they're doing. And he found that always there is an issue in terms of what is the hospital sending it to the, you know, there is something called as TPA, third party administrator of insurance companies. So they will send, let's say, a bill of 36,000, they will get only 23,000. So he found out why these issues are coming. When they did a complete process mining, they found that the configuration which was done by the hospital itself is wrong. So when they fix it up, they had better, rate kind of things. They could actually rate it up that if I'm sending it for a, claim for, let's say 10 lakh rupees, at least we are getting 9.85 lakhs. So they actually set up the whole process in such a way that you are matching it with what the TPA or the third party administrators are looking and take care of that. Then there are a lot of more things. Once you have done it at your own, area or your own organization, don't you think you can actually go on to your client and say, hey, you know what? I have actually done this, and now I can actually help you do this part. So which is business process reengineering consulting. Now this consulting can be interesting because you can actually add a lot more value for your clients. And one new thing which is coming, and I added it up here, is I don't know how many of you are getting this request from your client, because a lot of CAs call me up to move their tally onto cloud. Okay, because what is happening is they want to have everyone is working from home, and if there is a company with 5-6 branches and all thing, and the server is actually in one place, no one is there to take care of that, they want that tally to be moved to cloud. So once it is moved to the cloud, at least they can actually, anyone can access it from anywhere. Yes, tally has some feature already about remote working and all thing, but it is very slow. So they wanted to have that kind of thing. Now this is an ERP system, so you're going to even taking care of that and dealing with that. So friends, these are some of the areas where you can try it out. Augment your SMP, try to focus on that and do that. So I would say lockdown was a boom, and still we have a new lockdown now. Why it was a boom, and as Sudhir actually said, a lot of people have understood. You don't require to meet the person face to face. You don't require to be traveling. They are trying to cut down on all the things. So we can actually augment ourselves to these things. Point number one. Point number two, I don't know if you've read a book, The World is Flat. It's a little old book, but if you get a chance, I would highly recommend you to read this book. So, okay, let me show you this. The World is Flat. This is the book I'm talking about, A Brief History of 20th Century. If you get a chance, you read this book. This is by Thomas Friedman. And this book, Mr. Thomas Friedman actually mentioned a lot of things. You can be today sitting anywhere and do anything. And that is what we should have a mindset of. I would say we should have a global mindset always. Because if you're having a global mindset, okay, and it will help you to think big. It's everything is in your, it's a big. So we need to think big in terms of a global mindset, what we are doing, how we are doing. It's not like, okay, I'm sitting in a Mufassil area, so I don't require that. No. Once we start doing it, we will have a change. Remember, I'll just give you one analogy out here. So, we used to have Darshini in a small village and all the thing. And then a nice pizza, place came and all the thing. People first thought no one is going to go there, it's very costly and all thing. And in fact, after some time, people figure it out. The pizza place was doing much more than other things. The Darshini is like a small hotel we talk about, basically in Karnataka, we call them Darshini. That's the name we use it. But that is how, the whole thing is. Many times we don't know what our client are looking for. You just start giving this services, telling them about that. I'm sure they would actually, take it up. And the last one, a point which I want to share with all of you is collaboration is the key. More we can collaborate, the more we can actually take that forward, and we can do this. Okay. So friends, to summarize, I was telling you in the beginning of the tech mindset. The tech-enabled mindset is something which is called a tinkering mindset. You are ready to try out something. Okay, it happens sometimes. When you play with things, it breaks down. It's okay, but that's what R&D is all about, right? R&D expenditures are allowed in company because they play around with that. Have some amount, like just put it up. This is for my R&D. I'm going to try to do that. So the first thing which we should know is disruption is the key. Either you become the disruptor or someone else will come and disrupt us. Okay. So, so far in most of the CA areas, other people are coming and disrupting. You think of online filing of returns or basically aggregating that or all these things. We see a lot of non-CAs coming and doing it. We should take up the thing that, okay, we are going to enable it up. We are going to see how we can take care and do that. Second, I would say is to keep a KISS principle. Keep it simple. That's called keep it simple, stupid. Don't try to overdo things. I'll be sharing my presentation, and I have actually have a Word file. I have made it up, which is a detailed thing of that. And with DCMM, that 2 document, I would suggest you start doing it. Start small, no problem. You can take I have given it out here, incremental approach. Do the minimum thing first. The 10, 14 things I have told about, do that. And then you start using it. Initially, you will think, oh, I'm spending some money. I agree. Time also, effort also. And you have to make some people disciplined also. It's not going to be easy. I know that, guys. Any transformation is never easy. Whenever we do anything, it is going to have an impact on us. Okay. But if you take an incremental approach, if you take this as a mindset that, okay, we have to be the disruptor, we have to try new things, I'm sure it will add a lot more value than what we can think of. So that is what we should be working on. Okay. And one final point which I would like to tell you guys, what I've showed you are all some examples of that. There are a lot more things which are happening. But can we start with the basic fundamentals? And I'm sure a lot of you, because I see some of the chats and other things, you guys are already doing it. Like, we have been, Rajendra sir talking about Dragon Legal would be, it's a good one for drafting appeals and reply. Yes, sir. They are using it in Kerala High Court. Everywhere, people, I'm telling you, we have to start using it. Many times we think, oh, we are not the people to start. No, we should start using it. Others will follow. And also there was very interesting that questions from, our sir here. I think it was, yeah. Okay, what was that? Yeah. So the whole point on UiPath and Power, Joseph sir, Manoj Joseph sir has asked a very nice question. So guys, what I'm trying to bring out here is this kind of points we need to start doing. It's the matter of not whether it's going to impact us or not. It's going to matter when it is going to impact. So the faster we do it, the better we can actually work with that. So I'd like to have any questions, any doubts, friends, which is there, because I've just kept last 10-15 minutes for question and answer only. Because the idea is we should be ready to try it out. The more we try this up, the better it is going to be. And that's how we can actually add value to our client, to everyone who's around us. Our organization becomes better and we can actually take benefit of it. Okay. So that's all from my side, friends. It was great interacting with all of you. I really enjoyed this thing. And as Ranjit sir, so thanks for the opportunity by Ranjit sir and Deepa ma'am. This is always, like to share all these things which is going to impact it up. And I'm just sharing with you right now. 1 minute, just give me a minute. It's actually a document which I'll share with. I'll not share the PPT because it's very concise, but I have a detailed document which our firm we came out with. When we were actually at, I would say, during the last lockdown, we came out with one material called how SMP can augment technology. Okay, so I'm just showing it to you what it is, and share the file with Ranjit sir for the branch, and they can actually share with all of you. I'm sure you'll find some more interesting thing. It's more detailed approach of what I have discussed. So I hope you can see the screen. Here it is. So this is a document which is covering everything. How you develop your IT strategy, what you do, what are the IT skills required, what are the technology infrastructure required, how you can use DCMM also, what are the tools which you should do, what are the hardware options, what are the software options for each of the areas, what are the sample policy template. See, if you are trying to go for BYOD, you need to have your policy and procedures also set up. So we have put all the things, how you should have an information security risk policy. And there is one lot of resources which are there at IFAC level. I'm just going there quickly. International Federation of Accounting, they have this complete module for small and mid-sized practitioners. It's a guide which is there. I think I can show it to you. Yeah, it's a pretty good guide, and I think you are aware of that you are all member of IFAC, because you are a member of ICAI and ICAI is a member of IFAC. So indirectly, we are all member of ICAI. So this is a document. It's a very comprehensive. Can you see it is a 473 pages document. So these are some of the very interesting things which talks about how you can do it. And it's meant for whom? It is meant for practice management of small and medium practitioner. It's a very nice material, and I would highly recommend you to go through. I'll do one thing. I'm just sending the link also here on the chat box, so all of you can actually. Yes, Sally. I have done it on the chat box. You can actually download. There are some more that file also which is there, which is an Indian context. I'll share with you. So my suggestion is please start using it. Okay. One very important thing, Salim sir. You should not do it like what we do. All CAs, they have one very interesting thing. What is the interesting thing? From the time we are doing our from the time we are doing our CA, we have a habit. What is the habit, guys? The habit is very simple. We'll take every notes of every faculty and keep it with us. It is there in the material, and you get a very mental satisfaction that, okay, I have the notes. Whether we read it or not, that is secondary. So my point is that there are a lot of information which is there. This is a very nice document. In fact, this is the latest edition which is there, the 4th edition which has come. Worldwide people are using it. My request to you would be, please try, to go through it, understand it, and please ensure that we can actually use this in our day-to-day thing. At least I will try to take care of it. Thank you, Shantaram sir. Thank you. It was pretty interesting interacting with all of you. Okay. So I hope any questions, any doubts, or it was all clear. All clear is also there. Feel free. Any doubt or anything on your journey, if you think that you want to start with, but you think this is looks a little tough or not doable, or we have challenge, because I think there was a question which was asked to Sudhir, which was how do we try to get your articles? So I would just like to add to what Sudhir said. See, guys, whether you like it or not, there is a very interesting saying. Every next generation is 5-year advanced to you. If you are like married and you're having kids, how much smart you were at 10-year-old, your kid would be smart by the age of 5. You can notice this. This is a kind of a real thing. That's how human evolution happens. Our DNA evolves like that. Now, all the guys who are coming for articleship, they are very smart guys, I'll tell you. In fact, I would request you to give them the chance. Ask them to read it and say, guys, you implement it, and we will actually support you on that. They will do a great job out there. A little bit of discipline has to be brought, because I know what kind of articleship I did and what articleship is happening now. I know there's a very big difference, and a lot of you would agree to that. But having said that, they are more technology smart, and that's the reason we should be able to use that. Okay. Yes, friends. Any other questions? Okay, no questions then. So, thank you, sir. Deepa ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. Nobody could have put technology in much simpler words than what you have done. And nobody can motivate us more. The way you were like pushing us, egging us to take up certain things, look at certain things. It was really amazing. I've already decided to post lunch today. I'm going to sit on this.
Please, ma'am, that would be great. I would like, because what happens, ma'am, I'm honestly telling you, one of the reasons I agreed to this was I see always that, our CA field is being disrupted by others. We should be going into other fields and disrupting it. In fact, I remember one of my mentors, chartered accountant, used to tell me, I'm a member of ICAI, and he said earlier, like 10 years back, he said, Anand, you will see in some time, ICAI will be ruled by engineers, because more and more engineers are coming into IS audit. Our chartered accountants are saying, we are bored about that and all that. I would request all of you to try it. It will be interesting.
I'm sure we'll have more members from Ernakulam branch coming into all those areas very soon. Thank you so much. I'm sure you're always there to help us.
Yes,
you're just a phone call away for any member from Ernakulam branch.
Anytime.
Thank you so much for joining us today,
Thank
sir.
You.
And before I